And let's go ahead and mute. Hey, Balaji.
Hey, Lisa. Hey, Hal.
Hey, Holly. It's good to see you guys. We're going to go ahead and get started on this call. And we're just so glad that you guys came to our Zoom elevation call. It's really with saddened hearts that we're minus one, actually two, of our beloved team members. This is really like a family. And we started this 3 years ago in Evansville, Indiana. One of my dear friends, Judy Carver, joined our team. We always laughed that she was under anesthesia at the time because she'd had a dental procedure. But one of the very first people that she brought on board is her very dear friend, Donna Nunn from Henderson, Kentucky. And you guys know Donna and Ronnie Nunn. They've just been really integral parts of our live team. Have come to almost every meeting that we've done in Evansville. And sadly, just this last week, she was going to have a minor pacemaker procedure. And sadly, just 1% chance that you would have a fatality from that, but just didn't survive it. Mm-hmm. So it just broke our hearts. And we just were at an online memorial for her that was very beautiful by her family, all very eloquent and loving people. So when something happens to one of our team, I've heard Stephen say this before, it happens to all of us. And you guys might not ever know exactly how much Hal and I really love and care about everybody on this call, but we really do. And we view you guys as our extended family. So just great, deep felt sympathy to Donna's family.
Yeah, tonight. We got a call. We knew, last week on Elevation Call, Linda Ferguson actually just said, hey, everybody say a prayer. Remember Donna, she's going to have a procedure on Tuesday or Wednesday, I guess it was anyway. So that's when we even found out about it. I talked to Donna on Monday. We did a 3-way call for someone that Ronnie had shared product with. And, we talked about that follow up. And then we got a call from Judy Wednesday night about 10:30 and didn't look good. And she just, she didn't make it. And of course we've been in contact with Ronnie, and the family asked us to make sure that our Tyra and Zalise family knew, and we did the best we could with that. So anyway, we just, we do have heavy hearts, but we know that Donna is in the place that she's always wanted to be. And Ronnie knows that. And the family is doing well, I think. The beautiful service there online, limited attendance, but we were able to attend that. Yeah. So anyway, so that's that.
So switching gears on a more favorable and happy note, we just wanted to welcome everyone to the Elevation Call, especially those who are newer to our team. Yeah. I know Sebastian from Columbia is on the call again this evening. We have Owl,
whoever Owl is.
Owl is Ed's newest
Ed,
sponsee.
Can you tell us the name? Are you okay with that, Ed?
Yeah, it's Al Yoder.
Okay.
A good college buddy of mine, lives down in Tampa.
Okay.
18 fighter pilot, EMT, vet. Great guy.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, we talked briefly about that this afternoon. I'm glad he's on tonight. We welcome you, Al. So
yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
We'll get you talking here pretty soon.
So welcome to Owl. And then Hal is going to just go over just very, very briefly what the Elevation Call is.
So for all of you who are fairly new, just a reminder, we go over this every Sunday night. Elevation Call is kind of the step up, the new version of a call that Lisa began with actually began in her living room in Indiana with a small team that she started over 3 years ago on Sunday nights, doing training and kind of going over some basics and encouragement and different things. And then as the team grew and went to different states, that became a call and a telephone call, a conference call. And then about 18 months, even before COVID hit and everybody went to Zoom, we started doing Zoom meetings online on Sunday nights, and it was called the Jeep Call. And the reason we called it the Jeep Call is because there is a target that is life-changing in this business. And it's not the end of the rainbow. It's not the top of the climb. It's not the top of the mountain, but it's a significant event. And that's when you hit area ambassador, which you've built a team with a number of people, and you have 10,000 business volume And the best way to do that is to build a team of city and community ambassadors at 1,000, 3,000 BV on your team, and the cumulative points add up to 10,000. That unlocks several bonuses, but one of the things it also does is unlocks a bonus that the company pays for as a Jeep, literally a Jeep for us. And so, and when then you can duplicate that and help other people earn their Jeep, you rank up to higher ranks such as regional, national, presidential, diamond, by helping people earn their Jeep. So we really have kind of built this call around that, the idea of that. And then just a couple of months ago, we decided to change the name of it, because what we discovered is it's not so much about Jeep, but it's about raising your attitude, raising your focus, your understanding, elevating yourself beyond where you are to reach that rank and beyond, and to help other people. So we changed the name to Elevation Call. And so that's what we do. We train, we try to bring some of our leaders on. We talk about some of the leadership things that are happening, and then we try to give some training to help people understand and to climb the mountain. Because it is a climb, you know. I think for all of us, it's a challenge at times. Other times, it feels like we've got some momentum, and then we got to start climbing again. So,
and hopefully, you guys were able to chime into the power training class that Stephen did yesterday. Despite our technical challenges, it was part 1, part 2, and part 3. But nonetheless, I think that the information was tremendous. We're going to dive a little bit deeper, and some of our top leaders are going to share with you guys, because they're so much better than we are at explaining some of the concepts from that. But one of the evidences of who is actually moving and shaking, who is actually starting to really take some momentum in building their team, is the top 25
yeah,
list.
it also includes people who've planted seeds months and months and months ago, and for whatever reason, in this case, probably the stimulus package that we've been talking about here the last couple of weeks, or brand new people who come on board, or just consistent people. But when you hit the top 25 leadership board, it's about enrollments of new people. And so each week we recognize members of our team who that week on the Sunday afternoon, where they rank on the top 25 leaderboard. This is all of Zalise. This is global. Not just the nation, but global. There are people on the leaderboard regularly from Europe right now, and I'm sure soon we'll also be
number 1 is
Latin
Germany.
and Central. That's right. So anyway, let's recognize our team, 7 people who are on the top 25. This is really interesting. It also represents, this is the kind of team you want, 7 different states, 7 people from 7 different states. So at number 23 is Dr. Don Phillips in Arkansas. Number 19 is Cynthia Wiggins in Michigan, Dr. Cynthia Wiggins. Laura McClendon in Texas. And Cynthia and Laura have both been on the leaderboard before. Mary Ellen and Roger Ziliak in Indiana. Kristen Whelan in Georgia. It's not her first time on the leaderboard here recently. Her and Eric, of course. And then Steve and Jenny Todd in Florida at number 7. And then I think first time ever. These are people who have been planting seeds, who have been faithful, who have been learning. They're a part of Mary Ellen Ziliak's team in Arnold, Missouri. If you've not heard of Arnold, it's the St. Louis area. These are the kind of people that will drive 3 hours from St. Louis over to a meeting in Evansville when we're going to be there, or Stephen's going to be there. Jean and Lorena Workmeister, our bunny people. I think they enrolled like 4 people yesterday.
Yes, they did.
So anyway, they're
number
number 6 on the leaderboard this week. So we want to congratulate them for being number 6 in all of Zalise right now. So,
and you guys, what has been really interesting, having been in the business over 3 years now, we've never seen anything like the stimulus pack. And just because the $49 free business, free shipping, 2 of our very best products, at least a 14-day supply of the Ultracell and possibly the same amount or more of the topical. But having that and then being able to add products at wholesale for free shipping is just irresistible to people. So we're going to talk today about how you can actually blow up your binary, which a lot of people are not even sure what the binary is.
It's well, blow up your binary, but also build to Jeep,
Build
and
your
build your
Jeep.
business. So don't get hung up on some of those words.
And in order to really help us effectively understand a few things, I'm going to have Jim and Linda Ferguson join us, unmute, because we want to bring these two very, very dynamic leaders to the line and introduce them to our whole Team Unlimited. Most of you guys know these amazing folks. I will never forget meeting Jim and Linda. I thought that they were like movie stars when I first met them, because they're just beautiful people, had amazingly dressed. And they live in Henderson, Kentucky. They're both chiropractors. If you guys have not heard them show the plan or do the business presentation, then you really should. They have been consistently serving our team Wednesdays and Fridays, or Friday nights, for, I mean, at least a year. It feels like they've been just extremely consistent with that. So we asked Jim and Linda, who are some of the very best in the business at really teaching the compensation plan, how you're paid, why you should build a certain way, to come and help us with that. But I told them before they started their training, I really wanted to have them just kind of share their background and their story with you guys. So Linda, are you there?
Yeah. Yep,
Hi, we're here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, come in.
We're on one screen looking at you, on another device talking to you.
That's impressive.
Lisa and Hal, thank you so much. It's always humbling to be asked to talk to your team. We are so grateful to be part of your team. And, I think you've asked us to talk a little bit about our story. What do you want to know?
I wanted to know, how many years have you guys been in the field of chiropractic, and why would chiropractors want to partner with Zalise?
Well, we've been married 36 years on what is it? This Tuesday.
On Tuesday. 36 years.
36 years, and
Happy
so
anniversary.
yeah, and so I was my last year of school when we married, and we've now been practicing for 36 years, each of us. And it has just been, I would say it's kind of been a roller coaster ride regarding practice. Why would we do it? Is because you don't want a roller coaster ride. You want stability, you want longevity. And, practice and serving others is wonderful. But, you've seen, just like we've seen, all the changes in healthcare that have taken place in 30 plus years. And every one of those changes have have never really been to the gain of practitioners, especially chiropractors. Just some numbers so that you'll know. Chiropractors, unlike many, clinicians are out there, we're all self-employed. We don't have the big corporate umbrella, and that's a good thing in today's world. But chiropractors are all self-employed, all have that entrepreneurial part of what we do. Now, you may know someone that works for a chiropractor, but ultimately, we're not consumed by a big medical edifice. And so why? Because with chiropractors, we take on the risk of that. And that's sometimes very difficult. That means that you carry the full overhead, and anything that comes into play that can change your income, can change your lifestyle. Chiropractors only bill about 30 different codes in insurance on average. And none of our codes,
that many.
And none of our codes are probably over $200. And so you have to know that in other offices, that most codes that are billed through insurance in a medical office can range anywhere from $200 to $5,000. And so chiropractors have a very narrow window in which to be able to create income. And that is declining. That's a declining window. That's not a growing window. So there's a lot of reasons why chiropractors would want to build from a financial standpoint. Also, it's tough on your body.
And time.
Yeah, and time. Yeah, I mean, you spend more time than less time, and it's tough on your body. We've been doing what we've been doing for as long as we've been doing it. And I can't tell you that, my body hasn't taken a toll. My wrist were the primary reasons why I began to take this product. I was hoping to get some relief from, the wrist pain that I had, and I have. And then, most of our patients are, Jim is on a good day 5'7", and on a good day I'm 5'5". Okay. And so we're not real big people. And a lot of our patients are bigger than we are. And I'm as strong as I can be, but I'm still a lot smaller a lot of times. So it's difficult on your bodies as well. And our story is a very personal story with Zalise. It began with us taking the product, introduced by a patient of ours who loved us and we loved them, and they wanted to share with us what they knew would be important to us, both professionally and personally. And that's the way it worked. So yeah, that's the reason why, Lisa. We've had wonderful outcome with the product, and we've had wonderful outcome financially. And that's the reason why, guys. You don't want to leave anything to chance when you, meaning that, don't prejudge people, because you don't know what's going on in their lives. You don't know what their needs are. You don't know what their prayers have been.
Well, and as a busy professional, as we have a lot of professionals here on the line. Here is that you are basically chained to your practice. You are good at what you do, and so you're there. And if you don't show up, guess what? The money stops. Mm-hmm. If you're a dentist or a chiropractor or another type of physician or an attorney. I mean, if you don't show up, if you don't do the work, and you're independently, you're a sole practitioner or whatnot, the money stops. And you can be great at what you do. You can be a genius at what you do. But if you're trading hours for dollars, so to speak, something can happen. And that's what happened with us. I was in an auto accident in 2013, had a traumatic brain injury, and was basically out of practice for 3 years, unable to practice. And it took a toll on us.
It did. And, and just not to mention all the professional benefits that we've seen professionally for the product line, both to people and as well as our pets. Jim is a board certified veterinary chiropractor. And so we see both people and pets. And, you name, when we go through those 6 bullet points through the presentation of the struggles, we've seen benefits from, all of those bullet points on our patients. So there are so many reasons why, no doubt. There's so many reasons why.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, well, I love hearing your story, and it's great to hear, Jim, about your traumatic brain injury and just the effect that this has had on this product line. And I know you guys have had some great results with patients as well. And
Mm-hmm.
If we have time, I'd love to hear just about some of the good results that you guys are seeing. And obviously, those of us who've been in this business for a while, I mean, that's really what keeps me really wanting to share this. It's just because we just hear new things every day with different conditions, different.
Well, I'm sorry. If I can, I'll just give you one example. If you've heard us do the presentation, I really hit it hard. I mean, I'm serious. I probably go over the top a little bit talking about the condition of health today, because we have seen so much change in health in 36 years. People are not healthier, guys. They are far more weighted down with multiple conditions. People that used to come in with us and see us 25 years ago that it was a metabolic issue like diabetes. I'll just use that term, but like diabetes. That patient today is much more complicated than was the patient 25 years ago. They're layered with a lot more issue of stress and sleep issues. And I just use that as an example. So about 45 days, about the same time that Jim started getting benefit from the product, one of the first patients that we had, we said, we've got to have this patient try these products to see if she gets some benefit, because she had so many health issues.
If she didn't change something,
it
was going to get worse.
Yeah, it was just getting worse. And I'll never forget this patient, about a year prior to seeing these products and using these products, she sent me a picture of her feet in the middle of the night because she was the edema in her feet, the swelling in her feet. She had tree trunks for legs. I mean, that's the way they looked, and they were red.
Her feet looked like cantaloupes,
Okay.
like melons. You know, they were so swollen.
And I'll never forget telling this patient after we had seen the product overview, I was like, I don't know if this can help you or not, but here's what I know is it works on homeostasis. It works on your body balance. And girl, we got to do something other than what we're doing. And so she was kind of like a kettle that you watch boil. You know, every time she would come in, and she came in at 3:30 every Monday. She had been coming in to see us for 2.5 years regularly. And so we gave her the product, or, you know, she bought the product. And guys, this was just Ultracell. We didn't have CBG. We didn't have the topical. We just had Ultracell. And about 4 weeks into using the product, she began to say, you know, I think I'm resting better. You know, I think that I'm sleeping better. I think my energy is a little bit better, because every time she came in, we wouldn't know how she was doing. But about 45 days into using the product, now you got to realize her feet were like they were. They were always, to some degree, like I explained. And then she came in and she was wearing shoes for the first time. Her feet were so swollen, she couldn't wear shoes. She had to wear Crocs. And she came in and she was sitting on the table and she was saying, hey, look at me. And I had to register first what was going on with her. And we looked down at her feet, and her feet looked normal. Okay. And I said, well, what had happened? What happened to you? And she said, well, she said, I haven't done anything different. I'm just taking that Ultracell. And she said, about last night, she said, about 2 days ago, I started going to the bathroom, and I wouldn't leave the bathroom, that I had to go back to the bathroom. She said, I have been going to the bathroom for about 2 days. And all that fluid began to go off of her body.
She lost 25 pounds of fluid.
No medication differences or anything. Her body just started hitting that homeostatic level that it needed. And that's when we really began to understand. That was the first patient that we began to understand how homeostasis actually works, how it's this cascading effect that once hit, it cascades and affects all the other systems so that your body can begin to regulate and balance. And that was really impactful. And I'll never forget showing those pictures to Stephen Thompson. It was in October of 2018. And he was like, girl, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, no. And I don't know if you remember this, Lisa, but he asked me to kind of tell that story during a presentation one time. And but yeah, that's how impactful this is to people, guys. It can change people's lives when nothing else will.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing that. And, you know, the other part of this, what we do is help people with their financial health. And I thought Stephen did a really great job of going through the compensation plan. A lot of times for the first time, people can then see what Hal talked about as, you know, getting to the Jeep area. What is some of the financial benefits of hitting some of those ranks? But one of the basic concepts that a lot of people are confused about is the difference between the binary and the generational income. And so you guys are awesome. I'm going to actually have you guys, and I'm going to turn the host over to you. But Jim, if you could just kind of go over that.
Yeah,
for us. There you go.
Are we hosts now?
Okay, good. And so, Linda, why don't you talk a little bit about the STEM pack before we get started?
And so what we're going to do here is we're going to share a screen just of a photo here real quick. And let's see right here. Can you guys see that?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this is in your back office, guys, and this is a lot of what was talked about yesterday. So you want to make sure that you get this out of your back office or on the app. And this explains to you everything that Steve went over yesterday. Stephen went over regarding the first, second, and third base and home plate, how to utilize the STEM pack, how to build your business with it. It tells you about the stimulus sales tools, where you go in and you have your resources with your videos, how you're supposed to use that, and then call and follow up with them after you send them the video. You know, this is a system for your success. There's no mystery here, really. how to use the STEM pack. It's in 4 bullet points for you. Now, the key to this, I believe, is when you close it with the 3-way call with your upline, because that is where you have to round the bases and get yourself home, and your upline leader being able to direct them to the next big thing, whether it be a meeting, whether it be a one-on-one, whatever that next step is, they're the ones that are going to help guide and direct you to that. So make sure that you have this available. Make sure you screenshot this if you don't, but find it in your back office, have it there for you to reference often so that you know where that person is in the cycle, in the system. And if you're going from first base to third base and they're moving through the bases very, very quickly, still back up and make sure that they get the videos. Don't miss a step. And if you go from first to home base, that's awesome. But make sure that you are filling in the gaps, because all of that is important to systematize them and also make sure that they're available. And then Jim wants me to also mention that as we're doing this and we're enrolling people and they're enrolling fast, you have the opportunity to add products to that enrollment. Now, Jim and I, we really like to get people started, not just with the CBD or the full spectrum hemp CBD, but also with the full spectrum ultra CBG. So that's one of the things that we want to immediately encourage them to add to their products so that they get that best outcome with the entourage effect. If you don't understand that, make sure you check with your upline on what that is all about. But combining those two products together really can be impactful for their health. And then adding anything else that they need to do with that. And then also making sure that when you enroll them, that you explain to them the Starship program and get them on their first Starship of at least 50 BV. Because as Jim says, being on auto ship of at least 50 BV is the key that unlocks the bonus door. And so if they're not on a Starship, on an auto ship, then they're not in a position to win when enrolling people. And so you want to make sure at least that 50 BV is in place, but we want to make sure also that they get on the 100 BV for so many reasons, but mainly also for this process of being able to just set people up for a win, to get free product every month and all of that. So I'm going to stop this share right here. Anything you want me to build on that before Jim goes in and starts drawing things and everything, Lisa? Anything at all?
The only thing I was going to say is, for those of you who don't know, you go into your back office, look for resources. In the search line, you can put stimulus program, stimulus baseball flyer. That's what we just had. There's also the stimulus presentation, which may or may not be updated at the moment, but that's where you find it when you said get it in your back office. That's all.
It should also be on the mobile app if you refresh.
Okay, that's great. And so Jim's going to start going through some details here. He's going to share a whiteboard, and he's going to do what he does best, man. This man knows his stuff, and he knows how to explain it. And so I promise to mute unless you ask me to talk.
Okay, so here's the thing, guys. There is there is some confusion sometimes when you're talking about generational volume versus binary volume, and if you go to your graphical genealogy in your back office in your cloud, you can see these various things. But let's talk about first generational volume, because there is an old network marketing program. It was called Unilevel Breakaway Matrix. I don't want to go too deep into that, but basically this is you, and you would sponsor somebody, and then they would help sponsor somebody. All right. And you would have something like this coming along. And these guys that were in your first generation, you can understand that. And then you would have people in your second generation. And so you can see, you can understand all of that. But let's say you have your sponsors up here in the yellow here. And if they want to sponsor somebody new and different, well, they're not going to put them down in your organization. They're going to come out here and they're going to sponsor another person for themselves. So this is what a unilevel. So you have your first generation. That's not,
Move them out of the way.
that doesn't work.
How, Lisa, you're over the middle of his blue circle.
Uh-oh.
On our screen. We can't move you out of the way. There you go.
Okay. Anyway, and let's see. There it is.
Okay.
Great. I got rid of you. All right. And so this would be your first generation. This would be your second generation. So that's all understandable. Now, what you see here, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to fold this on itself, just as if you were to like take a big long strand of icicle lights that we see around that hanging from people's eaves this Christmas. If you were to pinch it in the middle and then let it drape into two legs, that's kind of what we're going to do with this program here. So keep in mind that you got your first generation and your second generation here. You got your sponsor. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to erase all of this. Bum, bum. And we're going to come in here, and this is you, and you're going to sponsor your 4 people. All right. You have a right leg and a left leg. Okay. And
We're going to use this as an example of 4x4 then? Is that
we're going to start with a 4x4, and just so that under people, because we talk about 4x4 all the time, but a lot of people don't have a concept of, well, what is that and what does it look like and why is that? Now, also, we have your sponsor here, and they sponsored you, but then they also have a right leg and a left leg also. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of distinguish. We got this guy here in the blue and this guy here in the blue. And then we have this guy here in the red and this guy here in the red. So we're going to help them sponsor people. Okay. And so the first one, this right here, if you look at it, this is your upline's team leg. All right. That right side is that team leg, because that's the leg that you are in. Okay. And so your first one that you're going to help them sponsor, let's say that we're helping the blue on the right. He's going to sponsor it down here. What are you doing?
right there?
Okay.
Right,
All right.
left.
Okay. If that's what that says. All right. And so he's going to go here. And his second one, he's got to have a right and a left also. All right. So that's going to go right here. The guy over here on the left, he's going to sponsor down in this team leg. This would be your left team leg. And he's going to sponsor his right and his left also. Okay. So this is how it starts to begin to flesh out. The second guy, we're going to help them sponsor. Guess what? They're going to sponsor in that team leg also. And it's going to go here. And this one's going to go here. He's going to sponsor a right and a left also. And so we have that here. But now this is where it's kind of fun, guys. Your sponsor comes in here and she goes, well, I got somebody I need to sponsor, and I can either put them in my left leg or my right leg, and I need some more volume on this right leg. So she comes in here and she sponsors somebody down here in that team leg. See how this is very, very different than the unilevel breakaway matrix, because she was putting that other one way out in a whole nother organization. There was no synergy in that organization. And now you have synergy. Now, here you are, you may not know who this person is. They may not even be in your community or even in your state, but you get to benefit from the volume that's being created in that team leg. That's what you call a little bit of beautiful there, guys. And so then you have you're going to sponsor another one. and you're going to come down here and come on, guys.
Right.
And you're going to come down here. You're going to sponsor another one yourself. Okay. And you're going to continue to help these guys sponsor. And so the blue one, he's building his 4x4. So he's going to come down here and he's going to put one down at the bottom of this team leg. Do you see how this can happen within a couple of weeks, where you're now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 levels deep in your organization, and volume will domino and trickle up from the bottom. And that is an amazing thing. So now what you've done, if you look at this, is you've actually helped the blue guy on the right and the blue man group on the left develop their 4x4, just like you developed your 4x4. And then we're going to do the exact same things with the guys that are in the red. The guys going to come down here in the red, and then here and here and here. And so this is just a process of duplication. And so what happens is that and your sponsor can come in here, and she's got another one that she wants to put on here, and then this organization can be adding also. She's helping them develop a 4x4. But all of this volume is now in 1 or 2 legs. All right. And so the whole goal, guys, is to keep these 2 legs balanced. And this is a talent. This is an art, but it's also a strategy, that your upline leaders can help you with. When you start off, you're going to be going right, left. But then you're going to have somebody like we had in our business with Dr. Steve Todd and Jenny Todd that just kind of exploded and just blew out of the box. And so you're working to try to maintain a balance of volume in your business. And the closer you can keep that volume in balance, the more profitable you're going to be. And is there something you want?
No, just knowing that the difference in the generational and the binary is that, think of whenever you enroll someone that you're the parent. And then whenever they enroll someone, you're the grandparent and they are the parent. That's how you think of generationals. And the program our compensation plan pays us generationally, but it also pays us binary. Remember, we have 7 ways that we get paid. So we get paid generationally and we get paid on the binary. So,
So if you remember
both
that,
are important.
if you remember that first picture that I put up, that there was like 6 guys across in that first generation. Well, guess what? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that first generation. And then we have one generation that has 4 in it, or in that second generation, and then another that just has 2 in that second generation. So it's all coming together.
Okay, let's just go ahead and Lisa,
Yeah.
This is a lot. This can be drinking from a fire hose, and we know that.
You guys have done great. Can we pause for just a moment?
Yeah.
We're at a great point to pause.
Uh-huh.
Did you want to add something, Lisa?
Yeah, I just want to add something. I think it really helps. Even, all I think about is, do I want to put somebody on my right or my left? But you guys have done a great job of just kind of diagramming the process. What I think of in my mind is binary pays out on enrollment kits, and generational pays out on everything else. So auto ships and orders.
Exactly.
And the other thing about the binary is where you get paid. You get to a part of the enrollment kits from your upline, non-generational as well. That's kind of the bonus piece of the binary. That's why with Zalise, just being on a good team, you might say, even when you first start, activity can happen underneath you. So many times we'll have people who just enrolled. They go to enroll their first person. They know it's their first person to enroll themselves. They go into their back office. We kind of take them there. And all of a sudden they look on their team and they've got 5 people there. How did there's been a mistake. There's 5 people under me and I didn't enroll any of them.
And I don't know.
And I don't know them. And they got my first spot. I was saving my first spot for my brother or my wife or my child or my business partner. Those are your binary. Your upline sponsored them. That's when you should be giving them a mistletoe kiss, because they have placed people under you. That's part of the system. It's no mistake. That's the binary. They're not in your family. They're on your team. That's really probably the best way to say it.
Absolutely.
In your family, they're generational. The binary is your team.
Mhm.
So now, a couple of things about this that I wanted to point out, because you mentioned Steve and Jenny Todd.
Mhm.
We talk about trying to keep them balanced, and we have people who we appreciate the fact that they want to be balanced. And in the beginning, it's very important. But the best thing that can ever happen to your business is if you get out of balance. And that is where somebody that you sponsored somebody who all of a sudden explodes, and they all of a sudden have added 5,000 business volume to one side to capture as much income as you can. You got to get busy on the other side, on the other leg.
Right, and the beautiful part about the way Stephen has put this entire compensation plan together is that I can't go out and sponsor a Steve Todd and ride him to the finish line. It doesn't work that way. It pays you in proportion to your service to others. And so by having somebody that blows up out of the box like Steve and Jenny did, it really put a fire under me to find more people just like Steve and Jenny.
Mhm. And just remember, guys, that whenever we're talking about, and we're talking to the newest person tonight, okay, so the newest person on this call, giving you this information, it will all come. I promise it will all come. But the first ways of making money, you just need to know, if you're starting out the gate today, you're going to make money by actually sharing the product and gaining retail profit from that share. And you can do that. You can actually sell if you want, or share the product and gain retail profit. But the other way that we make income is by creating our team. And when you create your team and you share and invite people to join the team and become part of the binary team, then you make money 2 different ways. You'll make it with a fast start bonus with that enrollment. And if they come in at bronze, you're going to make $20. If they come in at fast start, you're going to, the stimulus, you're going to make $5. If they come in at bronze, you're going to make 20. If they come in at silver, you're going to make 60. If they come in at gold, you're going to make 130. But you're also, because each one of those packs carry with it volume because of the products that move through that pack, you're going to also make a binary bonus. And you make your binary bonus every time a pack is moved through your team. And that's where those percentages come into play. 10%, it's up to 20%. So it's 10, 15, or 20%, depending upon what pack you have. And so that's how those bonuses work. And then you also, as a new person, you will make a generational bonus based upon the number of generations that you have. Getting you to the area rank is important, and we'll let Hal and Lisa build on that. But if you're brand new on this call, we were asked today by some new ambassadors, how do we make money? You make it 4 different ways when you first start. But then if you want to make it the other 3 ways, you have to get to the area rank and above.
And I'll tell you, that's where the big money is.
That's where the big money is, right? But everybody can make money. Now, you want us to build on this, or you want us to erase
No, I think
this?
for tonight, I think that's enough,
perfect, guys.
guys.
I think so too. So I'm going to turn the hosting duties back over to you guys. Bum-ba-dum.
Great job.
Yeah, you guys, you just make it so simple. And
I love your Christmas tree, Jim. It's perfect.
tree.
Ho, ho, ho.
And literally, we tell people that you're basically sponsoring in the shape of a Christmas tree, because you only go on the outside right and the outside left, just right or left. It's so much simpler than what I had done in the past. The best news of all, though, is the way I was trained to understand the compensation plan. Go earn a check and you'll figure it out.
Yeah. So, we have the best way to get going here and learn this is by enrolling people.
Right.
And the way you enroll people is to share the product, share the business opportunity, keep it really simple. Don't try to explain this. I mean, Jim and Linda have been in the direct selling industry for a while, you might say, and so has Lisa. I didn't get it. I didn't understand this really. I just went out and told people. And guess what? My first month, I earned my Jeep because I didn't understand this. If I'd understood it real well, I may have tried to over explain it, give them too much information. Yes, it's important that you understand, but do you have to understand it to build the business? Absolutely not. You will learn it as you build and as you share and add people. So,
and then the thing that I always remember as well, if you have an interest in having your binary team explode, just go talk to more people, because the law of averages will always take effect. The more people you talk to, the more chances you find a Linda and Jim, a Steve and Jenny Todd. So many people on this call that have sponsored an extraordinary amount of people.
So just to clarify and wrap it up, the 4x4, which we talk about, is your beginning point. That's kind of your first target, is to personally enroll 4 people and help them do the same. At the same time, you'll hear Stephen Thompson, he did it this last weekend in training, talk about the 20x20. Well, you know what the 20x20 is? It's just 5 times the 4x4. That is it. Personally enrolling 20 left and 20 right. The 4x4 is enrolling 2 left and 2 right. But all we're doing is keep doing that over and over again. So you can do the 4x4, the 20x20. Lisa and I are developing just another kind of midpoint target that we'll talk about in the future. But nonetheless, don't get confused. And also don't think that just because you sponsor 4 people, you're going to get your Jeep and go on to financial independence. That just gets you started and help other people do the same thing. We have had people say, well, I've got my 4, when's the money rolling in? And I'm like, well, you got to help them get theirs and you got to keep going. Right. So that's just the beginning point in the structure.
So just a huge thank you to Jim and Linda. You guys just are amazing and you're inspirational. And I have to admit, I had never seen that stimulus flyer. So I'm really glad you guys were doing the training
found it
instead of me. And you guys, it just shows you don't wait for graphics. We had a very simple little, not even a 8.5 by 11. When we first started, we had a little half-page flyer that was like typewritten, like a typewriter, and it was just the benefits of CBD. So we have
some ambassadors who's on the leaderboard last month, Jeff and Diane Staten. He carries that old piece of paper around with him, along with a pocket full of CBD and topical everywhere he goes. But he'll pull out this wadded up, folded piece of paper and say, here's our plan. And it's the old deal. I guarantee he cannot explain what we just went through.
I know Karen Hale knows what we're talking about. She's sitting there smiling,
grinning from ear to ear. So
we're going to go ahead and we try to just keep this at a reasonable time, because you guys, we love having an opportunity to meet with you guys. Linda and Jim, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
Oh, you got feedback here, guys.
Big time feedback.
Okay, sorry guys.
Oh, you guys are still feeding back. There you go.
Okay. Shut that off. There we go. I just want to interject and just say, Hal and Lisa are so right. When we went area ambassador, we did not know this. Okay. And it didn't matter that we did not know it. We just trusted the process of enrolling people and getting them to our upline. And that's the most important, guys. Do not think that you have to know this, but it is important that as we go through the process, that you know that you will learn it, and that we're not trying to hold it back from you or anything like that. It's just that you will learn it. And we are just privileged that Hal and Lisa trust us to be able to explain. We hope we've done a job to where we haven't confused anybody, just opened up a dialogue. But just, get out there and go into massive action. That will answer all your questions.
All right. thank
Massive
you.
action with some
Hey,
direction.
let's wrap it up. Have we covered everything?
Well, just wanted to mention that we are halfway through the month, you guys. So let's get everybody on the leaderboard. And if you guys are the number one person in the day, you get $100, which is, I mean, like that's $100 around Christmas. That's an awesome
Where is that
opportunity.
posted, Lisa?
That's posted everywhere. I
Okay.
mean, it's posted on Team.
So
Unlimited.
I got one quick question,
I'm sorry.
and I want a very quick answer, short. I prepped
Something weird we
you
showed
don't
off.
even know
Oh, I'm
who
on
I'm
a
even going
different,
to ask this,
I'm on a different thing.
but I want to know how, in just a couple of words, how the Workmeisters jumped from not on the leaderboard to number 6.
Lorena and Jean, can you guys unmute?
Y'all flip a quarter. Who's going to tell us?
Okay, can you hear one of us?
Yes.
It was a lot of seeds being planted, and that just happened to come into tuition because of the leaderboard and because we had been talking to Joy. She actually had given one of my samples that I have given her. I know I'm not supposed to, but she gave it to somebody, and their bunny rabbit got better. And she called me on Thursday and said, "Where do I get that?" And I said, "Joy, I've been trying to get you into this." And so, so Friday, I actually met her. I talked to her, and she's actually interested in becoming a ambassador. And actually, when I talked to Joy, she said she gets all the bunnies and we get all the people. And
There you go.
I don't know if I can tell you this tonight or not, but she was talking, she's on the state and international, and she said, "I'd love for you to get those people too."
Yes.
So what I know to be true, you said it in the beginning, you've had a lot of help from your team, Mary Ellen
Oh
especially.
my gosh, I don't know
But-
what I do with them.
But here's the thing, you guys planted seeds, you've been planting seeds, you plant seeds, you stay with it. You guys are you're on a personal training program
Yeah.
at
Yes.
home
Couple.
and with leadership. So you've been developing yourselves.
Yes.
You've been planting seeds. So that's how you all of a sudden end up on the
Yeah.
top of the leaderboard. So
Hey, and
congratulations.
I just want to shout out to you and Hal as well, because, a lot of people say, "Hey, I want to be area. I want to make a lot of money." And a lot of times they'll even say, "Hey, yes, Lisa and Hal, I want you to work with us. We're going to commit to meet with you, once a week, even if it's just 15 or 30 minutes, just
Right.
to keep us on track." Very few people consistently do that.
At
You
tw-
guys show up, and Hal tells
I'm
me,
going to tell you something. Every Wednesday, my phone rings at 12 o'clock noon. It's you guys calling. You have not missed a week. You guys have just been doing it week after week after week. At 12 o'clock, my phone rings every Wednesday. And we talk about a lot of things. We talk about business primarily, on how to develop yourself, how to grow, and do things that you were not ever used to doing. You guys have come so far. We're so proud of you. Now you're making me cry, Lorena. Stop that. Anyway, congratulations. Really super proud of you guys. Let's just keep it going. And anyway, I'm just really proud of you and happy for you.
No,
Thank you.
Roger and Mary Ellen drove up because I finally, 3 weeks ago, nailed down Joy. And I said, "Hey, I talked when we were there when I was in Indiana, and they said, 'Hey, let's do a presentation to her.' And Roger ended up giving me doing the presentation and how much they can make. And so I couldn't have done it without Mary Ellen and Roger
Yeah.
doing that.
Hats off.
So
Hats
Yeah.
off to them.
That's what Jim and Linda were talking about, relying upon your upline three-way
Yeah.
calls. It's not about asking them every question in the book and not
Right.
figuring out things on your own. It's about using the team that's available to you with people in presentations, in follow-up, and three-way calls. So anyway, and planting seeds. You guys have been planting seeds and learning how to do that. You've learned how to not talk so much. and stay on target. Really
I'm getting there.
simple and, you know, and not give it all away, to ask people to purchase from you instead of just giving them everything, giving value to your business, giving value to our product. But mostly, I just want to say I'm proud of y'all for the personal growth that you've committed to for yourselves, and the consistency that you have done that for you. It ain't for me. It's for you that you're doing it. And we just get the benefits and the joy of participating with you. So anyway.
We're so proud of you guys. And with that, we're just going to stop the recording. And anybody that has a comment